let's hit on a little recent news and what happened, the last 24 hours. Abdul Carter, right? A lot of people, top edge guy in the draft, top 5 pick on everybody's big boards or whatever else. Foot problem gets figured out.
Stress fracture.
Or as his agent said, stress reaction, right? Because he didn't want to use the word fracture because that doesn't sound good, right? And, hey, this is a common tale here at the NFL Combine. You know this. The viewers out there, when you go through your first day here at the NFL Combine, you might have to get up early, you get weighed, you get measured, you do that. Then they take you to the hospital, and you gotta go through a thorough examination. And I'm telling you, it's as thorough as anything you've ever been in to this point.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they pull you, they push you, they put you in weird positions. I mean, move your knee around, you're like, ow, like, what are you doing?
Hurts,
are you trying to tear my ACL? Like, what the hell are you doing? And they find things. I had an experience like that here at the Combine, too. I came in going, man, I never missed a game in college. Awesome. Okay, I'll get the checkup. But I had a finger that I had dislocated a bunch of times, and, alert the presses, right? I had to fucking stay there.
Throwing hand or not
throwing hand?
Okay.
Never missed time with it, but it was on their books. They had seen that I had dealt with this injury a few times. And, I'm sitting there like, okay, let me get this done because I'd love to get back to the hotel and rest and eat some lunch so I could take a nap and be my best for tomorrow's workout. Here we are. Oh, Mr. Simms, we have a concern with you. You're going to have to stay here. What? I'm like, what? Like, what's wrong with me? Oh, we want to check your my finger. What? My finger. So then I'm there, and then you sit there, and you're there for, there's 10 other guys, 11 other guys. You got to wait for some of them to go. And it does ruin your whole day. But obviously, you end up getting MRI'd, X-rayed again. Somebody again comes around and tests that issue now and feels that. So Abdul Carter going through the foot, the stress fracture, which is what it is, a reaction, right? Little concerning.
Sure.
Then he comes out today and says that, all right, there was reports last night he might have to get surgery, which could be about an 8-week thing. But he is saying today that he's not going to do that, that he's going to perform at his pro day. I'm a little surprised by that, honestly.
Me too, because what if that lingers into OTAs?
That was the number one point I made with Florio this morning, right? I feel like I've heard this story too many freaking times of, well, I think I'm okay, and a little bit of like, I want to show everybody, one, that I'm okay and show what I can do in my workout, but two, I just want to say I'm okay so I don't scare anybody away. Right? But then, so they get a few teams that buy in, oh, he must be okay, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to OTAs, and it's, oh, he can't do it. He can't. In fact, we're going to have the surgery now. And now we mess up training camp because he's not totally ready for that. I was shocked. I mean, if I was one that was advising Abdul Carter, I would go get the surgery and get it done with.
It's not going to change his draft status.
He is one of the elite few.
I know he's athletic.
Matter.
I don't need to see him run and jump.
It doesn't matter.
There's 13 games of that. Exploding off the ball.
I know.
Running by tackles. Like, what do we think?
Well, and to that point, I do wonder, and I mean, we're not going to have the answers now, but some teams are not going to like that. They're not. And I think it's an interesting position anyways, and you'll see later on, I talk with Nicole Auerbach about the pass rushers a little bit. I hold these pass rushers in high regard. Some of the ones I've seen. I know I've talked to you, and I might be wrong, but just the little I've seen from them, between Abdul Carter, some off-the-field issues, shoulder hurt in Boise State game.
Right, and now we have the foot.
Now we got a foot and all of that. And I think some of the important evaluators are starting to go, wait, some of these other pass rushers are right up there with him.
What do you think of the weight? Sub 250.
That's not my favorite.
Right.
I know we got guys in football that can do that, but I also know even too, just talking to a few people, that's one of the negatives on him. Of just like, hey, you know that position. It's usually you look like a freak. You got to be a freak. You got to have freaky things. And I know he's got freaky explosion, but he's not the kind of guy that when you see him in person, you go, damn, he's got a nice body. Don't get me wrong. But you're not like, oh, wow.
I'll tell you the one thing, though, because nobody ever likes to talk about any negatives with any top 5 pick. I think his balance is not great, which to me goes back to the mass. You're going to get knocked around in the heavyweight arena when you're the lightweight.
Listen, his body scared me all along a little. That'd be the one negative. You know me, I do NBC Big Ten pregame shows on Saturday. I mean, week 3, we did a Penn State game, and I was like, you got to watch Abdul Carter. He's got 3 rockets up his ass. He's the best defensive player on the field. Right? That was undeniable.
And then he got so much better throughout the year.
Just kept getting
better.
That
was like the appetizer.
And he's got natural pass rush instincts and movements, certainly. But as we know, and I think what we're talking about here just a little, and again, we're dissecting. This is what this time of the year is. It isn't a body that I just go, oh, man, he's rocked up and everything just looks amazing, right? And those are things I question as I get into this evaluation period, and we'll see where this goes with Abdul Carter.
I think Mike Green is built like that. Like, Mike Green.
Freaky looking. He has freakiness looking.
Yes.
Exactly. Same with the kid from Tennessee and James Pierce.
Yeah. And he's long.
He's long as hell. Again, we're going to talk about their weight and are they big enough? But from what I saw on film, they play way stronger than their weight.
That's the heavy hands.
They have lever theory.
Yes.
Right? Like I tell people, because sometimes, and for everybody else, I go, what do you mean lever theory? I go, Michael Jordan, he wasn't squatting 800 pounds, and that's why he jumped the highest. He had a femur bone that was like 3 feet long, and then his Achilles tendon and his knee to his ankle was like another 3 feet long, and those levers helped him jump out of the fucking gym and do 360 dunks, right? And there's the same thing with that, with long arms and long legs for these pass rushers. So that's what I'm with you. And then you add on the freakiest of freaks and Shamar Stewart, right? And I can't think that he's not going to rise here. And again, I've only seen like 15 plays, but I'm just going to tell you the 15 plays, my eyes popped out of my fucking head when I saw it.
It's insanity.
It's insanity.
I mean, him and Mike Green did 2 days of Senior Bowl practices, and everybody was like,
yeah, they're good.
We don't like need to do this anymore. We've seen enough. It's so funny with Shamar. Everybody's question, how does he have 1.5 sacks every year? Well, you said this to me too. Like, he wrecks plays. Wrecks
F
plays.
the play up guy.
And he's 290, plays like he's 250 in a good way, like the movement.
Right.
The way he can move, he can get to the sideline. He could bend a little bit. Like, there's flexibility in his ankles.
No
at that
question.
Size. That's not
Listen,
supposed to happen.
I wouldn't be raving about him if he was tight and I was just like, oh, this is some straight liner who just got big muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw everything just in the 15 plays.
And you loved him up here, right?
I loved him up
like
here.
There was a lot of energy.
He'd be another one, and then you'll see later on when I talk to Nicole Auerbach, he was certainly one that jumped out to me. But this whole defensive end conversation is going to be very interesting, especially with these recent developments with Abdul Carter. Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Hey, just because the season's over, it doesn't mean we're over. We ain't going anywhere. The NFL never dies.
We're staying right here. Hit subscribe. We got every NFL move. We'll react to that. Plus, Chris has got 4,719 draft prospect profiles to do.
Thanks again for watching. Subscribe. You know where to find us. Peace out, homies.